You know, the story with Breonna Taylor is just getting just so sick. Okay. Now, we talked about that Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. I mean, he is the Oreo of the Oreos. Okay. And a grand juror felt sickened by what happened with the Breonna Taylor case and the results. And the grand jury exposed, one of the members exposed that basically this Daniel Cameron guy threw the case. When that cop was charged with wanton endangerment, only the one cop, that was the only thing that they brought before the grand jury. They didn't bring nothing else before them. So this attorney general never recommended a charge of homicide to any of the cops at all in this case. He was the one supposed to present that to them and let them make that decision. They didn't have no charges at all. Only he presented was the one cop shooting at some white person's wall. That's what he presented. Nothing with Breonna Taylor whatsoever. See, let me tell you something. These, shucking and jiving, bootlicking Sambos in our community, like Daniel Cameron, is dangerous. Okay. We saw him at that Republican National Convention talking up there with Trump. Okay. And he come back to Kentucky and do that to Breonna Taylor. I don't care if Trump told him something, Mitch McConnell told him something, because that's the state that he come from. I don't care what they told him. He made that decision. And I told y'all, one of the biggest issues that we have as black folks with fighting. See, the fight was different back in the 1960s. Yes, they had sellouts in the 60s too, but you got a lot more of them now. And also you got people imported in here who maybe not be Mzungu, but they think just like Daniel Cameron. Okay. And many other groups out here. That's the difference from the 1960s to now. You got more people that's against you now than you had in the 1960s. But you see the results of people like Daniel Cameron, sellouts. When they get in position of power, they going to lockstep and walk right in the messaging and ideology of white supremacy and carry out that no matter what. So now people are calling him out. Now everywhere he go, people are mentioning his name. Now people are calling him a sellout. And he's not liking that. Because see, nobody was messing with him before. But now the community know his face. Now they calling him out, and rightfully so. He should not be able to walk around anybody, black folks, or anybody that just feel it's wrong what happened to Breonna Taylor without hearing about how much he is a sellout. You gonna sell out Breonna Taylor for what? What were you selling out Breonna Taylor for? What you thought Trump was gonna put you on the Supreme Court? Did he promise you that? Then he ended up choosing the other woman? Because, they said that they had floated in the media that he was on the list too. That's what Trump did, put you on the list? And you wanted to please Trump and his buddies and let those cops go? And then he went with the woman he went with? Just shaking my head. Now, this shucking and jiving Oreo says the full story and absolute truth of how this matter was handled from beginning to end is now an issue of great public interest and has become a large part of the discussion of public trust throughout the country. Okay, so then later, Daniel Cameron did send a letter out to all the news outlets saying that homicide was never on the table for the grand jury whatsoever, right? In this case, the grand juror was pissed off and said that, he wanted to use the grand jury as a shield to deflect accountability and responsibility for those decisions. He said it was planting more seeds of doubt in the process. Yes, a prosecutor can rig a case. They can do that. Okay. A prosecutor do not need a grand jury to charge anybody. As they say, a prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich if he or she wants to. He didn't want to do nothing. He wanted to make sure those cops got off. Now, what needs to happen is the people in Kentucky say, okay, we see you. we got to get out there and get you out of office. His days as Attorney General should be up on election day. You can't leave that kind of guy in office. You cannot leave that kind of guy in office whatsoever. Period. Because this guy has no heart. He don't believe in justice. He obviously hates black people for sure. He said, how you see all these black people crying and upset and everything. And you say, forget Breonna Taylor, forget the black community, forget that you're a black man yourself, you freaking Oreo. And you sit up here and just go side with the race soldiers and let them go home free after killing a woman. Killing. That is sick, man. That is so sick. But, you know, it's no level that these, you know, sellouts will not go to. You got to think about it. Brothers like Fred Hampton was killed because a sellout set him up. Let's call that what it is. A lot of slave revolts were stopped behind a sellout. And see, as black folk, we have to really start learning how to cut some people off in our community and say, okay, those are the enemies in our community. See, other groups don't put up with that. They do not put up with that. We the only ones still want to carry on with some of them, hoping they change. Well, maybe one day she could change. Forget that. There are things that you can do, even in the Bible, that say that you can't be redeemed for. And selling out like this, at this magnitude, no, you can't. You should not be redeemed at all. No matter what kind of leaf you turn over, whatever. No, what you did to Breonna Taylor is unforgivable. Daniel Cameron, it's unforgivable. Now, a lot of black folk, you know, the ones who got, you know, white Jesus on their wall, will say, oh, people can be forgiven. Like I said, I'm not talking about God and what God thinks. I'm talking about in the community, we need to have some sins that's unforgivable. When you pull a stunt like this, being in politics and not giving justice to someone that deserves it, no, you should be done worldwide. No one should fool with you. Go with them folks. And them folks, you know, once they done with you, they get rid of you too. Because you know earth is good for them either. But leave me a comment, guys. Let me know what you think about the situation with this Attorney General just straight selling out Breonna Taylor on purpose. Did not put homicide charges while he lied to the public, making you think that that's what they was trying to do. But he just went on ahead and pulled the old okie doke.